everyone. At least it's evening right now. I'm here, Len, and with Chad.
Hello.
We are here to make a podcast. This is our sixth episode.
Could be a sixth episode for our RF talk.
Yes. So we are Reimaru Files, by the way. We handle everything under the geekdom, or at least trying very hard. The schedule has been difficult. And well, you know, I've been a father recently. You have another guy who became a father recently, so lots of things happening.
It's
but
Reimaru dads. Oh my god.
Reimaru fathers.
People, stop making babies.
Keep it in your pants, yo.
Keep it in your pants, man.
I'm so sorry. Alright. Okay, so Nintendo is our topic of the night. Siya ang ating pulutan.
Yes, it's quite promising for Nintendo this year, especially with the Nintendo Switch being released, and a lot of interesting stuff in regards to Fire Emblem and also on the mobile scene.
Yeah, actually, when we thought about it, when we discussed it earlier, we realized that there's a lot of things going on with Nintendo, and we're gonna share our thoughts with you guys, and we would like to invite you to share your thoughts as well after. So let's get to it.
Let's focus more first on the Nintendo Switch. Alright, so last January, Nintendo just made a presentation video for their Nintendo Switch console, which basically it's like a home console but being more portable. So yeah, so far there are a couple of games being revealed. One of them is like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's more like a upgraded version from the Wii U version.
So we have the expected titles. You have Mario Kart.
Expected titles.
An upcoming Mario. This title that everybody got hyped about even a full year before, which is gonna be Legend of Zelda
Breath of the Wild.
I'm wild about it, man. I'm wild about it.
Do you have a Wii U? Do you have a Switch? Nope.
I'm gonna watch Let's Play videos.
Well, too bad, son. Too bad I got my own Wii U.
I'm gonna consider getting a Switch, maybe, but PC comes first. Anyway,
alright. So we got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and then we got the Breath of the Wild, and we got Splatoon 2, and also we got some obscure games like One to Switch, which is from Nintendo. It's more like a party game. If you see the trailer and how they demonstrate it, it's basically focusing more on their Joy-Cons or their controllers.
Yeah, on the quirks of the Switch's capability with their accelerometers and everything, motion controls and playing.
And you're not relying on the screen.
Yeah, you're not relying on. Really?
Most of the guys, because you're like milking the cow without looking at the screen or staring at your friend's eye and doing a quick draw on the gun duel.
Yeah, milking the cow is a very apt name for what the Switch has been doing.
You can hear the milk squishing on the nipple.
Especially with their upcoming game lineup. A lot of people weren't too impressed with the game lineup, especially as third-party developers were kind of lacking a showing.
Well, so far as of tonight, like there are 72 games being confirmed to launch on the on the Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
Majority are slated for 2017, and like quite a handful for the following year. But there's a problem with the lineup of games.
We kind of made a tally, and we noticed that about only 40% of these are originals.
Yeah, originals meaning they are exclusively launched for the Switch, or these are upcoming games that are slated for a 2017 release.
And then suddenly you look through these titles and you see, hey wait, I played this before. It's Minecraft. Well, okay, not a big surprise there.
Yeah, so around more than 40% are reports from previous consoles like PS4, PC, the Wii U.
World of Goo, man. World of Goo is in there.
Yeah, it's like a 2010-ish game.
Yeah. Human Resource Machine is there. So I'm kind of wondering, whoa, did they just kind of try to add some fluff on that? Or are they just trying to make it fatter so that it looks fatter? This is a very old practice of Nintendo making shovelware.
Yeah, I also take note like almost more than a half are developed by indie developers.
There you go. That's kind of a good sign.
Yeah, it's a good sign actually. Although some fans might find the lineup quite unimpressive for this year.
They find it lacking. Maybe I find it lacking. I don't think I'd get a Wii U or not a Wii U. I wouldn't get a Wii U. I'm sorry.
Okay, now speaking of Wii U, I think this lineup is a lot stronger than the predecessor, the Wii U. It's like almost double the amount.
Yeah, double the specs, more
I mean,
or less.
double the number of games planned for 2017 release.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. What the Wii U basically had going for it was Splatoon, basically.
Oh yeah.
But Breath of the Wild, we have a new Mario game. We have
We get 2 Fire Emblem games.
yeah, and we have a bunch of promises from third-party developers this time.
Yeah, I think one from Square Enix, the developers behind Bravely Default.
Yeah,
They're planning to release a
Project Octopus or something.
Yeah.
Octoplex. I'm not sure.
But it's quite promising. That it showed some short glimpse of the gameplay, more on 2D pixelated, pixel art characters. It's
Okay.
more like a throwback or nostalgia trip.
The one thing I liked about the presentation was when Suda came up and he was saying that No More Heroes is coming. I'm not sure what it is yet, but it's coming on the.
At least it's a good news for hardcore gamers who are into action games.
The No More Heroes title, I believe, is pretty phenomenal on the Wii.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's coming back, it really drove me nuts. It had all these gimmicks. It made use of the gimmicks of the Wii.
With the stick.
The stick and the charging and all that. I had a lot of fun with it. So Suda being on board with the Switch is a very, very great sign for me.
So yeah, really interesting to see more for this year. Well, like 70 games, although yeah, half are just re-releases. But there's another thing we need to discuss with the Switch. It's more about its hardware component, its hardware specs.
Alright, a friend of mine posted on social media that I might as well get an Nvidia Shield when he saw the specs.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell me more about this?
Well, basically, the Nvidia Shield is more like Nvidia's take on bringing games, or maybe Android or PC games, in a portable approach. Like you can stream games, or you actually play games on the tablet or on the mini game console.
Okay.
And what's interesting with the Shield is that it runs on a Tegra graphics chip. It's more aimed for a smaller scale design, so it's more smaller, portable.
So it's downscaled graphics in general.
Yeah,
But it's portable.
it's portable. So what makes it interesting with the Tegra is that Nintendo Switch also uses a Tegra chip for its graphic processing power.
Alright. With this, considering this, we have both machines running on Tegra, and both have generally the same idea running on it. Which is cheaper?
So far, from last time I remember, for the Nvidia Shield is priced at around $200, and that's only for the tablet.
Just the tablet.
Yeah, and what's interesting with the Switch is that it's priced at $300, but it has its own Joy-Cons and a tablet and a docking pad, so you can play it on your large screen HTV, or put it out and play it in a portable way.
Okay, so you're defending the $300 price tag because of all the peripherals that come along with it.
Yeah, but also take note, Nvidia is focusing more on PC, so the licensing on games is cheaper compared with the console.
That's true. So there's gonna be kind of a premium that people will have to pay for
Yeah,
for the Nintendo Switch, and we're looking at considering the Joy-Con. The Joy-Cons are expensive.
yeah.
They
Also
are.
take note for the Shield that it also sell well for the Nvidia.
It doesn't
Since
sell well.
yeah, people prefer playing games on the mobile for iOS, for the iPad or other Android tablets.
Okay.
Or probably Nvidia did manage to penetrate their marketing on the mobile scene that well.
Okay. Well, moving on. I mean, you look at the price tag on the Switch. It's actually not that different from almost every console on
Yeah,
launch.
that's true. Like take it for example with the PS4. Like how much was it priced in the launch day?
$399.
$399, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then how about for the PS3?
$599.
$599, right? So imagine the price, the difference, and also take note how much was the Wii U when it was launched.
$199, I think. No, I think it was $200.
Last time I remember is $250 for one version. I think the 8 gig, and then the 16 gigs are priced at $350.
Just for, well, okay, that's what Apple does.
Yeah.
Yes.
And take note, the 3DS when it was launched,
Mm-hmm.
it was priced at $250.
So okay, so you're saying that the price shouldn't be that big a deal.
Yeah,
But-
actually, it's like more the typical price tag for a new generation of gaming consoles.
But now you have a PS4, which is in general a stronger machine as a console compared to the Wii U now. The Switch, Sorry about that. The Nintendo Switch, and you when you compare the price, are you sure you're getting your value for money?
Well, you have to focus more on the games. Actually, for consoles, you focus more on what games you really like to play.
Okay, can you expound on this a bit more?
For example, what are games that you can find that are Nintendo and PlayStation? There's nothing, right? Only few. So it's more like an exclusivity is the advantage for certain gaming consoles, why they manage to get more on their audience. So in this case for Nintendo, they really need to provide something that's more value on their money, and also providing it a better specs that it'll be aimed for the casuals. Like, you don't need really high specs for your consoles to make it more expensive and aim it for casuals, because they only prefer just to play games.
Okay, I guess what you're trying to get at is the same argument as mobile games,
Yeah.
portable games, that they don't have to be they don't have to have good graphics to sell well. They just have to be fun, which is basically how the Wii sold.
Yeah, and also if you're gonna make an argument regarding like the performance or the visual presentation of consoles, like make an example for Xenoblade Chronicles X for the Wii U. Well, we all know that the Wii U is like similar to the PlayStation 3,
Okay.
although it's aimed as a same generation with the PS4. But the Xenoblade Chronicles X provide a seamless open world game that provide really good visuals.
That no PS3 game did.
Yeah,
That no PS. Yes.
no PS3 game did. Remember, there are Fallout 3, Skyrim, but they had frame rate issues. Like certain moments in the game that the frame rate will drop around 20 to 10, because there's a major issue with the game engine with the processing power of the PS3.
Okay, so I guess that's more the developer. I mean, they do have something consistent to work with, so it's up to them on how they're gonna maximize the resources they
Yeah,
get.
it's more about how they design the game and how they utilize the hardware to its full potential. It's not about just because, like for example, you have like the 1080 video card or maybe the i7 processor, and you expect it to have the really best visuals, but the game itself is not really that engaging or just very limited. It's still
Okay.
pointless.
All right. Okay. Well, I guess just to wrap this point up, it does, compared to the Nvidia Shield in terms of the machine, graphics card, everything, you would say that the Nvidia Shield is actually cheaper. However, the console for the Nintendo Switch does come with Joy-Cons, which is surprisingly $80 for a pair.
Yeah. Also take note, if you're gonna purchase a separate controller for the Shield, it's like around $100.
Okay.
So you need, and this is just for one controller.
And for Switch, there's also a dock which connects to an HD TV.
Yeah.
But it doesn't do more than 1080p, right?
Well, for when you're going to put it on the portable mode, it'll stick to 720p on the resolution, and then when you put it on the HDTV, it reverts to 1080.
And 1080. Okay. But 4K is not happening quite yet.
Well, there are some. Oh, according to some sources that it's possible. Some say it's possible, but we can be sure. Considering the current specs of the Nintendo Switch, it's kind of impossible in state. But
Okay,
probably
maybe-
in an upgraded version, maybe.
Maybe
Like
they'll
the PS
upgrade
Pro.
the dock. Maybe
Maybe, or maybe like for the PS4 Pro, make it more optimized for VR.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, right. It doesn't have VR yet. But again, there's a lot of things that are just gimmicky, and it's all really down to how well made the games really are,
Yeah.
and how will Nintendo be able to support this. So I guess in a sense, specs is it's like a brochure. It's like a menu,
Yeah.
but it's different from actually eating the food.
It depends on what kind of audience you're aiming. Especially if you're aiming for more on casuals, specs doesn't really matter much. But if you're more from like tech savvy people who are more on, on PC, you'll be more conscious on the specs because you really want to get more value on your money when you purchase something.
For speaking of value for money, one thing that makes you maximize what you get on any Nintendo console was the backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
Which was not mentioned at all during the Switch presentation.
I think they mentioned that since they're going to use a different game cartridge, the idea of a backwards compatibility, like for the Wii U or maybe for the Wii, it's really impossible. It's really, it's really sad. But I think they could try to remedy it with the launch of virtual consoles.
So emulation. They might. Actually, the machine seems strong enough now, so maybe it can handle emulation.
I think Nintendo already hinted that GameCube titles will be ported as virtual consoles, so that's a good start. Maybe we could see some Wii U games that really didn't manage to shine well on the Wii U since the current state of the console.
So do you really think it's because they just decided that, okay, we'll just change the cartridge from this point on? So there's no backwards compat? I mean, they can just make a dock, right?
Yeah, possible.
They just make an extra
we'll
dock.
Never know. We'll soon find out when it's out. But for at least one good improvement for the Switch is it's now region free.
Okay, maybe the region freeness might be a factor as to why it can't be backwards compat, because every other release before this had regioning on every cartridge.
Yes, like for the 3DS, you had the issues from regions and also for the Wii U. But like from previous generations, like the DS, it's all region free.
Okay.
So it's kind of weird that they managed to, from that state from Wii U and the 3DS, put it on the region lock system, and then suddenly they're now open with region free. Although it's a good idea. It's a good thing that they managed to learn.
It's a good thing. It's actually one of the biggest issues I had with buying Wii or a 3DS because of the region issues. So since I love my Japanland games.
Yeah, how can you play with your waifu games? We can play it on your console.
That's why I got a Vita, because of my Japanland games. Alright, so moving on. So
so probably seen the Super Bowl 51 ad.
Oh yeah, like Twitter went on fire with that.
Yeah, so many people really hype, especially on the console, the casual audience.
So
just really nice.
Yeah, I think we can say that was a victory for Nintendo. They were catching an old audience that they were unable to connect to with the Wii U.
Yeah, so it's a good progress for Nintendo for hyping up for the launch.
All right, so speaking of new things with the Nintendo Switch. See, the Wii U, the Nintendo Switch, what the heck? So, speaking of new things they're gonna release with the Nintendo Switch, aside from the name, because they're finally letting go of Wii.
Yeah, finally. Then moving on,
is the paid online service. So, you told me a while ago that the president dropped the price, like on a show. And he said it's going to be somewhere between 2,000 to 3,000 yen.
Yeah.
That's approximately $20 to $25.
Yeah, around that price range. And it's also like really cheap compared with the PSN and also for the Xbox Live, like around $50 per year.
PSN just raised their price for their PS Plus service.
From 40, I think, and then jumping to 50?
No, it's from 50
to 60.
I'll say 60. So,
or we got just cheaper from the region 3.
we're just cheap. Yes, they're just cheap bastards
people
here. Anyway, so it is pretty huge considering what they're offering. Online PvP, I guess, online network, and a free game, but you don't get to keep the game forever.
Yeah.
It's there for a month.
Yeah.
So you don't really get the game for free forever. It's free for a month.
Yeah, for a month, and we can't be sure what kind of games will be available for this service.
It
could be retro,
To be perfectly honest, it's gonna be likely to be a lot of retro arcade stuff. And from my PS Plus subscription, the free games, I played them for about a week or two, and then I'm done. So I don't. While it tells you that you might not have as vast a library as PSN gives you, it might not really matter.
At least it's more like a bonus content. Like if you're really bored on some VR games, you can just take a break, try on some smaller games.
Alright, so, but anyway, yeah, paid subscription service, it's actually quite cheaper. So far, not bad by Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Really.
If you're gonna focus more on getting access to online multiplayer, it's still really cheap.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so actually we don't really know much else because it's not much 3 yet, and we don't know what else is gonna come.
Unless we can try a Switch and a hands-on demo.
Which is not happening in the Philippines. I'm sorry.
Probably, hopefully, but you can't guarantee it.
not at the moment. We know nothing at the moment about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, another front that they're taking on right now, especially just this week, is the mobile scene.
Yeah.
Now let's just go really quickly through what they've done previously. They had
This is last year. Take note, last year. They started their mobile drive last year.
Okay, so that's last year. So not a lot of time has passed.
Yeah.
They had Miitomo, which I had no idea existed.
It's more like, imagine it's like Tomodachi Life and a combination with the Miiverse from the Wii and Wii U system.
But who knows that it exists?
Yeah, it lacks any promotion or maybe some explanation how it actually works. I saw a couple of friends tried it for like a couple of weeks when it was launched, but it was really a forgettable game.
Well, it's a highly forgettable game because maybe at that time Nintendo doesn't really understand how a mobile game works.
True.
Now their second big release, technically their big release, was Pokemon Go.
Yeah, although Niantic Labs handled the development for Pokemon Go, but at least Nintendo has some involvement in the production of the game.
They own a percentage of the profit share.
Yeah, like around 12%.
Yeah, because of the copyright. Plus, since it was on mobile, everybody knows about it. It was on CNN.
It was really hyped for the first month.
Yeah, it was super hype, and everybody was making videos about it. People were making reports about it. It was on local TV.
Yeah, it was so hyped. During my feature on Gem News TV that regarding the top 10 mobile games, the first was actually Pokemon Go. Even the local scene was really hyped. Like people are going around malls, getting on Pokestops, or maybe winning on gyms.
Somebody was advertising a drive around for Pokestops.
I remember when I don't know if it's Uber or Grab that are also making a promotion with Pokemon Go.
And then you would notice that for some reason malls are always having their lures out.
Yeah.
So
bars and restaurants, they're doing promos. Like for example, if you're from Instinct, the Mystic, or maybe Valor, you get some nifty promos.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, everybody was in on this. Now, while Nintendo didn't actually own the game, it net a lot of money at least for the first 2 months.
Yeah.
And it also net money for Nintendo in another sense.
Yeah, at least it's a good way to expose the casuals or maybe new people to the Pokemon game. And it also helped increase the sales for Pokemon Sun and Moon. So it's really a good drive for Nintendo to going mobile.
You mentioned increase in sales. How big an increase? Or how popular was Sun and Moon compared to what was previous?
Well, so far, although XY was still the best-selling title, 150 million copies. I think around 60 for Pokemon Sun and Moon. So at least, regardless on not being the top-selling from the franchise, it still managed to give Nintendo some really good amount of sales.
So yeah, I guess it played out as their advertisement at the same time.
So next, they also made a game, at least their second game, it is called Super Mario Run.
Oh, a lot of people, I saw the post on the Twitter. It said, "Hi, Super Mario Run," and then "Bye, Super Mario."
Yeah, well, actually, it's like a simplified version of Super Mario, but more focused on being portable or being on a mobile. You can do it with just one hand.
So what? It's like Mario is automatically running.
You just actually tap it to jump on obstacles or some sort of. I haven't tried it, but it's basically that kind of idea, more of a streamlined Super Mario.
Okay. So what was the big problem?
The problem is that it was labeled as a free-to-play game, but actually, after reaching the third level, you're required to purchase the full game for like $10. So it's a massive paywall blocking you when you progress early on the game.
Okay, wait. Let's just first they let you download the game for free, and then you get to level 1, you get to level 2, and you're having fun. Then bam, paywall.
Yeah. So people really turn off. Like I think from the millions of people who downloaded the game on the iOS and the Android, I think only 10% or 6% actually purchased the game.
That's a huge drop.
Yeah, although it's really a good factor considering, according to some mobile analysts, that at that 5% or 6% is still really big. Like they can manage to garner 5 million people to purchase $10. So that's like around
50 million.
Yeah, 50 million.
So my history with digital marketing and e-commerce tells me that your likely conversion rate from getting people to look at your stuff to actually buying it is about 1%.
Yeah. So at least, although 5% is good, but it's still not enough considering it's being like the number one most downloaded game, and then only garnered just a small fraction from the total people who downloaded.
Well, that's what you get for being kind of deceitful, right?
Yeah, I think they trying to do what Surpass did with their Run Super 5, fooling people.
Oh my! You just giving me like the word. You're triggering me, man. You're triggering me.
Yeah, that's the worst idea. And good thing that it really went well.
It treated things like
they
that.
They treated people like shit,
Yeah, that shouldn't happen
ever.
That's okay. For context, Run Super 5 in the Philippines is actually a subscription based mobile game. You heard me right. You pay a certain amount regularly every day to be able to play Run Super 5 in the Philippines.
And you need to text some keywords to disable the subscription.
Yeah, it's not as awful as how Run Super 5 went.
Yeah.
But it's still deceiving your audience. If you named it like Super Mario Demo, maybe it won't be.
Just put it a demo.
Yeah.
And then just price it like, understandable it's $10. Although there are some games who are cheaper right now, especially it's a mobile game, so it should be a premium priced game. Since it's a mobile game.
That's
like
true.
How much is an average game that are paid? How much are the paid mobile games in the market? Like $2, $5?
Yeah, around that. So $10 is kind of up there. That's kind of like a movie in your phone already. So that's like kind of a movie in your phone already. But I guess fourth time is the charm for Nintendo Mobile, because Fire Emblem Heroes on its first week, just released this week, is topping number 1 in Japan for downloads and number 3 in the US.
Yeah, and take note, it's like in the iOS.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we haven't heard any info for Android, but considering the iOS getting really good numbers, we can expect with the Android getting as well.
Yeah, and in terms of grossing, so grossing meaning the rough amount of money they make. It's number 3 in Japan, and Japan is by a huge number, mostly iOS users.
Yeah.
And then it's number 6 in the US.
Yeah, in par with Clash of Clans and Clash Royale, which these games are really high on premium purchases.
So, and this is kind of the shocker for us. We didn't expect it to do so well outside of Japan, considering that Fire Emblem is more or less a cult hit.
Yeah, it's pretty surprising, especially in the West. Although Fire Emblem Awakening and Fates managed to introduce new audiences to the series, but surprisingly, it managed to get more impact in the West.
Yeah, that's a lot of people downloading.
Yeah,
60 million was it, I think.
probably.
Yeah. Anyway, Fire Emblem Heroes. Why is it so good? Why is everyone biting onto this one?
Well, probably it's faithful as in the original game. It managed to keep the strategic turn-based combat gameplay, and also managed to provide a triangle weapon system. The weakness and strengths of certain weapons to make it more balanced.
The
for
rock,
classes.
paper, scissors.
Yeah. And also it's more portable. In just one hand you can play the game.
All right, I'm coming from a guy that plays Japanese mobile games, and I'm liking Fire Emblem Heroes.
I think the way they present the game, they know their audiences. They know what waifus we need.
Okay, not strictly waifus, but first of all, it does feel like a complete game. The mechanics are sound.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy anything to play it properly.
Yeah, like in the start of the game, you can purchase heroes.
Yeah, you get to draw. You get a free 5-man draw.
Yeah.
So long as you get all the gems you need.
Complete the quest, complete the story mode,
And get the extra bonuses.
Yeah. Also get 10 free orbs from when linking your Nintendo account to the game.
All right.
So yeah, it's a nifty bonus.
So, and I was planning to play the game casually, just every now and
What
then.
is casual to you?
But I drew Takumi. So
You're OP sniper.
Okay. So if anybody doesn't know who Takumi is, it's basically the very definition of overpowered in Fire Emblem. I don't play Fire Emblem, but I've seen videos of this guy just taking out anything.
Oh, yeah. If you play Fire Emblem Fates, the Birthright edition, you can get Takumi as a playable character, and he's a really OP sniper.
He's like
He can counter anything. He can do follow-up attacks. He has high speed. He can attack twice.
He's One Punch Man. He's basically One Punch Man.
Nerf him.
I don't. You know what? I believe
He's like Symmetra in long range.
I believe Nintendo is in it for being consistent. He will stay OP. Okay. I will. If he gets nerfed, I might stop playing it. Anyway, moving on.
So at least we can say that Fire Emblem Heroes is really a great game that Nintendo launched for the mobile.
Yeah, it's on par. It's definitely on par with the likes of Grand Blue Fantasy and Fate Grand Order.
It managed to get what mobile gamers really wanted and what Fire Emblem fans really wanted.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Like the art looks great, the dialogue is there.
But at least they managed to keep the voice actress for Felicia.
Yeah,
we got trouble.
We got trouble.
I should add that line. We got trouble.
All right. So yeah, I guess fourth time with the charm. It looks very, very promising.
So at least Nintendo's on a roll for the mobile scene, and it could be their year.
All right. So I guess there's one more front to cover with Nintendo as a console producer, and that's the 3DS. There's the new 3DS. It seems they're still announcing titles for it. What do we know about this?
So far, there's Dragon Quest XI, which also going to release on the Switch and also on the PS4. And then we also got 2 more Fire Emblem
PS4?
games. Yeah, PS4. Well, it's Square Enix.
Okay.
And it's a simultaneous release. And it's a good thing that Nintendo's still getting Dragon Quest.
I'm still reviewing it. Anyway.
And also we're going to get 2 more Fire Emblem games. One is another new Fire Emblem game which is called Echoes, Shadows of Valencia. I think it's gonna be revolving on the Fire Emblem Gaiden game.
So it's a remake.
Probably a remake, or maybe involving in the storyline within Fire Emblem Gaiden.
Kind of a Gaiden.
Or maybe it could be a remake for the Gaiden game.
So it's like Fire Emblem Zero or something.
Maybe.
So
and then we also got the new Nintendo 3DS port of Fire Emblem Warriors.
So that's going to be like, I don't know.
Yeah, so Switch also getting a port for the Fire Emblem Warriors. So it's no surprise that Nintendo's gonna release a new 3DS version, the same with how they managed to release Hyrule Warriors for the new 3DS.
That's true. Well, I'm guessing that at this point the production for 3DS and 3DS games will tend to slow down. They don't mean to phase them out completely, but it will slow down.
Probably give it like 2 more years for its lifespan on the game library.
Yeah, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
Kind of like the PS2 death.
Yeah.
It was slow, and
People still play on the 3DS thanks to the Street Pass and the multiplayer feature.
so I don't think it's gonna be going anywhere until.
Oh yeah, there's also Monster Hunter game.
Well, yeah, people still play Monhun.
Yeah,
but,
so you know
but
we can expect another game this year.
what happens when Monhun goes on the Switch?
It's the best formula. That's the winning solution for Nintendo.
And they have to pay Capcom enough
Yes,
to get to
Capcom,
make
make
another
more
Monhun
shit.
game. All right.
So yeah, on our closing, for our closing, 2017 could be Nintendo's year, especially with the Switch.
Yeah, I kind of disagree. Like, it could be Nintendo's year. It could be Nintendo's year for what? Like, is it gonna be a great year for them? Is it gonna be an awful year for them? Is this gonna be the last?
Maybe it could be
console?
their great year, or maybe it could be something.
And because the way I see it right now, the new 3DS is not as strong as it might have been.
Yeah,
The
it
Wii-
lacks the exclusive. Or maybe I think Nintendo's afraid that, if they release the new Nintendo 3DS exclusive games, some of the older audiences will feel outcasted and then they will consider buying new games from them.
I don't know. I don't know about the loyalty card over there because 3DS is pretty old. You know?
Yeah, I think it's like more than 5 years now.
And so the maturing audience with it. Come on, you guys afford a new phone every year. You could do it.
Yeah, so you could possibly hear something for a new successor to the 3DS.
But-
Maybe this year or maybe next year.
But Wii U completely flopped. It flopped like the Vita did.
Yeah.
And then
How come you still have a Vita?
because I like my Japanland games.
Throw away your Vita. Nobody cares if you
Tales
like
of Cold Steel 2 alone is worth it. Freedom War, I bought it for Freedom Wars, and then anyway, we're talking about Nintendo.
Anyway, at least maybe there's something for 2017 for Nintendo.
Yeah, Switch is maybe their make or break. Like, this could be if this turns out to badly for them, like for 2 years, it doesn't give them good returns. This might be the last Nintendo
Yeah.
home console.
Probably a home console, and maybe they could focus more on a successor for the 3DS. I think they're selling well on the portable scene.
They're still the king of portable. I would say that.
Yeah, maybe they just focus more on the portable and maybe take a break on the home console plans.
But on the portable side, you now have your portable console, your 3DS, competing with their mobile products. And I don't think I need to argue with you which one is going to net more money.
But if they could incorporate two of them, like making something that, interconnect with each other, sync with each other, making something like the mobile, when you play in a mobile version, you can get some exclusive when you play on the 3DS version, or vice versa.
Okay, so interconnectivity between
Yeah.
them, that might work. So why not both, right? Why not both could work? But I strongly believe that by 2018, we're gonna see a huge change in Nintendo. One of these things might be left behind, or they might try to combine their efforts.
Maybe.
But
Well, at least we could see something, but for now, I think we can wait but we can just wait another year to buy a Switch.
that's what we always do. Like we
Yeah,
always
we wait. We don't buy in the first day.
We don't buy and release because there's no library yet.
We wait.
You wait. You let the thing incubate a bit. You know.
Unless you don't have a console yet and you want a new one.
Oh,
Sure, go
well,
ahead.
you could consider that. But anyway, alright, so, well, we wish luck to the Nintendo and the Nintendo Switch. I also hope that you guys get to draw Takumi on your next Fire Emblem Heroes
meanwhile,
draw.
I'll just have to play more with my Fire Emblem Heroes.
Anyway, what are your thoughts, guys? Do you think that the Nintendo Switch is going to be great? Do you think that you should just wait it out for a bit? We would like to hear from you. Just go ahead and leave a comment. Anyway, so this is Chad.
Bye. Bye-bye.
And this is Alan. So thank you for dropping in. Thank you for listening to our little chat over here. And we will next be discussing, I think, something about venues.
Yeah, more
So,
about convention venues.
Yeah,
So stay tuned.
So again, we are Reimaru Files. We talk about anything geeky under the sun. And we will catch you next time. Thank you for listening.